everyone, and welcome to the show. I hope everyone is having a stupendous day. Wonderful, super duper. I got no other words. How are you doing, Fernando?
Right now, good.
Yeah?
You just scream in my ear, so.
Piss off.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today?
Yeah, we got a Canadian. All right, Kentuckian, a Northern Indianan, a Connecticut. Boy, we're all in the house.
Everybody's in
Hi. Good evening. Good evening. Old dog here. What's up?
What's up, David?
Monday. Here we go. All right, this thing is just already flipping along. Well, hi, hope Texas in the house. Give some shout-outs while we're going through the monologue, as it were. I hope everyone had a spectacular weekend. PA. Ron from New York. You okay over there?
Yeah. I'm just reading right here. Hey, Morel. Massachusetts.
We talked to them today.
Yeah, New York.
It was a good conversation. Jeff Smith and DSP, so overwhelming. You know, and that's the great thing about it. It's recorded, so you can just watch it over and over again.
It's like, I don't understand this. Let me
and I know I said I'm going to make a playlist that has part 1, part 2. I'm going to do that. I just didn't do it this weekend because as soon as we left here, we went and started our weekend. I know that's crazy, and it's not really a weekend. It's just a day off that we get.
I actually have a weekend, dude.
You had a weekend?
I had a weekend.
Texas, California.
Yes.
What's going on? Freaking April
awesome.
Snow here in Omaha, Nebraska. Snowing?
And
Virginia.
if you call and for any reason the store didn't answer your phone call, just keep trying. You know, he's busy over there. He's the only one working over there, so he's just running around and...
Just got DSR1 start to tune soon. Ooh. There you go. Plethora of DSP info. And that's why we want to have him on, because it's so much fun. And he just has a blast doing it. So I finally got my DMRTA.
Ooh, nice.
Gotta sign it. I mean, I'll be happy to.
Sign it?
Yeah, why not? Fernando with the fresh cut.
I know. Oh, totally, man. I went on
that's right.
Friday.
You guys went on Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Single day off. Yeah, rub it in, fro.
Single day off.
Anyways, let's before we get to the questions, give us a minute. Let's all get caught up. So for those of you new to the show, I know that's hard to believe. We have the 12-volt clean wire club every week. Fernando goes and scours the week and picks a install of the week. And for that today, we have this guy brought to us by Monster from Rangel, Ricardo out of Mexico City, Mexico. Did a nice bang-up job with this JL. If you guys don't follow him on Instagram, I strongly recommend it because he does some really nice work. He's an engineer by schooling, but for some reason fell into car audio, and they do his shop there. And you can it's Monster
by Rangel.
That's it. Exactly how it sounds.
That's it.
He does a bang-up job over there. If you know, follow him, and lots of love. 20-minute mark. Today we're going to be talking about summing, and then at the 40-minute mark we'll talk about something that's cool. And with that, now let's get to some questions.
All right.
Read them to me.
What would it cause my 2 amplifiers to cut out when I turn my fan on and put the windows down? I check my power and ground wire along with the remote. I'm lost.
What would cause my
2 amplifiers to cut out
when he rolls the window down?
No. Just like
in general. Pardon me. There's always an explanation. There's always not an there's always a reason why something happens. I just had a friend of mine that was like, I don't know why my battery keeps going dead, and I kept telling him it was the alternator. I'm like, dude, your alternator's bad. He's like, no, they've checked it. And I'm like, no, they haven't. And so finally, he texted me the other day, and he says, you're not going to believe this, my alternator's bad. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me, no way. And he's like, yeah, because I kept going up when I had charged batteries. And I'm like, yeah, I know, that's like, literally. So his thing was, I said, listen, do me a favor. You have a digital multimeter, plug it into your cigarette lighter, all right, and monitor your voltage all the time and find out what is going on. So basically create a log and find out where the dip is. And He found it immediately. He's like 10 minutes down the road. There's no power in the car anymore, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I think my alternator's bad." Basically, what I'm getting at is if you have a digital multimeter, connect it to the amplifiers and put it somewhere up front. You know, you can lengthen those pieces of speaker wire as far as you want, and figure out what's going on. See what happens when they cut off. See if there's a dip. See if you have to visually see what is going on. My guess is, even though it looks like you have constant 12 volts in ground, something isn't right in one of those, because that's the only thing that can cause that to happen. But that's where I would start.
All right. Hey guys, I got revenge on the Starling Subaru that beat me up last week. 6 ohm 50 watt resistor did the trick. There you go.
Yeah, I think we we used the greens, the audio control LGD greens, and the WRX STI do it, whatever the hell it is, and that worked good for us. Plus, I believe that the Prima already had some load resistance built into it, so it all worked out in the end. But yeah.
All right, Pate say, "Hey, Dean and Fernando, nobody has a wiring harness for a 2019 Chevrolet Trax LT. Do you guys have access? The GM
So
31.
Okay, so there again, Access makes these two harnesses here. The GM LN31. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. We have it.
Oh, you mean they don't have
idea.
any? Yeah. Okay, so I don't need to show that.
No.
So he can't find it anywhere.
I don't think.
It might be a new harness. So if we can't find it, wait, or just cut the wires. I mean, so what we would typically do in that, before we found that harness, and there again, I didn't even know this harness is available yet. It might not be. They come out with these things, and then like right now, good luck. You can buy 2 4-pin connectors or 8-pin connectors and basically make your own harness, go up in the dash, because there's plenty of room there to get into those wires. What's up, Mr. McNulty? And then solder those in, and that way, if you want to ever put it back to factory, you can just plug those back in, and it's, pretty nice way of doing it.
Denmark.
Denmark, yeah, that's a place.
I like it.
Yeah. So.
All right. Next one, 2002 Grand Caravan, handicap van, 5 1/4 in the dash, 6x9s KS on the doors, and 6x9 CS in the rears. How do you recommend I wire these speakers to a 4-channel amplifier kicker? I have L7s RT12s.
So it was.
So we have dash, doors, and rear speakers, and a 4-channel amplifier.
So what's in the dash?
5 1/4.
So 5 1/4. 5 1/4 are going to need a capacitor for sure. You could probably
47.
I was thinking 60 microfarad, somewhere around there. Okay. Higher than 47, because 47 is really for a 3.5 or a 4-inch. So probably somewhere in that 60 range would probably be pretty good. 60, 65.
Hi, Lori.
What's up? Capacitor on the 5 1/4. That way you can let the 6x9 play down low. Put those on front and rear. What was the other set of speakers?
The CS. So it's KS on the doors, and CS in the rear.
Are they all 6x9s?
6x9s, yes.
So that would be if you wanted front to rear fade. Now, if you weren't worried about front to rear fade, then obviously you could put the 5 1/4 in channels 1 and 2 and put all the 6x9s on 3 and 4. It's entirely up to you. But typically what we would do is do what I just said. Doug is in the house.
Doug?
What's up, Doug?
Doug?
There was a question on there about Helix. I don't know if you want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
All right.
Focal 3-way or polyglass 2-way. So I think the question is a 2-way or a 3-way. No one answer that. Okay, just forget I said it. When we're talking polyglass, we're not talking flax. So I'm still thinking the Access 3-way set's probably going to be the better way to go, if you have room for them, because you'll get that mid-range, Yeah, I think you'll be better off that way.
All right, how would I use my 3.5 speakers on a 4-channel amplifier, even though I'm using 2 4-coaxial speakers with the DSR-1? It's a Dodge Ram Alpine system.
In a perfect world, you'd want to pick up a small 2-channel amplifier and use them that way, in the sense that, you know, that way they'd be on their own channel and you could level control them. Remember, the DSR-1, you just need to activate the channel, so you could set it up for a 2-way active set, and then when you go to set up your crossovers, you don't have to use bandpass, you can just use high pass. So you could have those on channel 1 and 2, your door speakers on 3 and 4, rear on 5 and 6, and sub on 7. That would be the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, in the sense that more than likely how you're going to do it is you're going to pick up some 47 microfarad capacitors. That's 47, and all these caps and stuff like that you can find on DNF Tool Drawer in the install items page. But if you pick up some 47 microfarad capacitors, you can put those on the 3.5s, play them off with the mid bass in the door or the coaxial in the door, whatever it is, and that's just typically what you would do. Keep in mind now, though, that you're going to be putting a heck of a lot of power to them along with the mid bass in the door, with no way to attenuate them, so they are going to be loud for sure. That's why buying a small 2-channel amplifier would definitely be the way to go. But however your life works out.
All right, does anyone make a T-harness for the 2021 Tacoma to add a kicker key to the factory head unit?
2020?
2021.
2021.
I thought it was a different plug.
It's a different plug. That's the new plug. Oh, gosh. Yes. Actually, no one makes a T-harness, but just go to metroonline.com and they make the harnesses for that. They make a 70 and a 71. And you just need to buy one of each, because the new Toyota harness has the 8-pin or the 10-pin speaker plug in the back.
I don't know. I mean, if you Chris McNulty is here, I don't know if you Prima.
They don't have one. Nobody has one. I've already looked. No, it's I've been down this road for weeks now, because that's like, I've been asked that question a dozen times over there. So just go to metroonline.com and do what I say, and you'll find both those harnesses there. You don't need to worry about it. Toyota has taken the speaker harness out on its own now, so you don't have to deal with it.
What do you think about the Audio Frog GB speakers?
They're spectacular.
Yes, they are.
Mr. Hi-Fi Vega's in the house. Hey, for those of you that are interested in movies and exciting things like that, Hi-Fi Vega and I decided to take our show on the road. Not only are we going to be doing, what is the show we do? Hi-Fi or Reverse Polarity.
There you go.
That's it. Not only are we going to be doing Reverse Polarity, we're going to take that one step further, because hey, you know, why not do more? And we're going to come out and do a new channel called Side Jag, a guy's perspective on movies and life.
Look at that.
Now, if you're trying to find it anywhere on YouTube, good luck, because I was not able to find it. However, Hi-Fi could probably put a link to it if you guys want to subscribe. Our first show is going to be on the 29th. So not this week, but next week. So we're gonna talk about it, and we already have a movie. But if you tune into Reverse Polarity on Thursday, we'll tell you the movie that we're gonna review, and of course, fun stuff like that. We got a whole bunch of stuff, exciting stuff lined up for this channel. We're gonna have guests. It's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be car audio, but hey, it's two car audio guys talking about movies. So
yeah,
you know, you don't really sleep. No, I don't.
It's
kind of what it is.
Yeah.
All right, where are we at? All right, good. We got 5 minutes. Go.
LC 4.800. Red protection light blinks 5 times. Manual says DC offset is the code, but no solution listed. What could it be?
DC offset is the 6 volts that comes from the speaker wires to turn on the amplifier. So there's some kind of problem with that. That means that you need to find some other source of remote turn on.
He has that.
He has another source.
He has a remote wire. So
you need to turn off GTO. Because if you leave GTO turned on, then that will it's still looking
still
for it.
sends.
So you have to turn off GTO. GTO is the great turn on. So turn off GTO, run your own remote turn on wire in, and I mean that should turn that off too. Yeah.
What's up, Ray?
Turn that off too. At that point, that's as far as we would take that for you. You're going to want to call audio control, talk to one of the guys there, and see if they can help you figure out what's going on. Because other than that, there's no reason why you should be getting that protection light unless there's something really, really wrong going on. So,
all right.
Yeah. Yep. So you're going to want to call them. They have great customer support. So I would totally give them a shot, see what happens. But that's you've done what it seems like would be the immediate thing to do.
All right. So this is the Helix DSP and the Phoenix Go M44.
Yes.
With a Phoenix Go MS 275.
Okay.
To the subs. Is that good? It's 275 watts to the sub.
Well, it depends. Does the sub require 275 watts? I mean, everything's got to kind of be like balanced. I mean, first things first. Everyone, all right. Question you should ask yourself about any system that you do. There it is, side jag, right there. Robert put up a Hi-Fi Vega. Put
Hi,
up
Mom.
a link. Yeah, hi, Mom. First thing you should ask yourself about any stereo system that you do, regardless of power, performance, DSP, brand of choice, pick one. I don't care. When you sit in your car, does it sound good? Does it deliver what it is you're hoping for? If it doesn't, then go back and look at what you have and what you've done and try to figure out what piece is causing the issue. Meaning, do I not have enough bass? Simple enough. How many subs do I have? Do I have a big enough sub? The subs I have, do they have enough power? Can I give them more power? And then apply budget to that, because there's also, all right, if I wanted this to be better, what kind of budget am I looking to allot for that to get it to this level? And then you can either talk yourself into it or out of it. People get hung up on the minutia of it all. They get really excited about like, dude, are my gains set 100%? Is this, you know? And they get really like, oh my gosh! And the reality is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and just kind of enjoy what it is. PM MS 275 is 2x75 watts. It's not a lot of power for subwoofers. I'll tell you that right now. But there again, if you have some really efficient subwoofers and you bridge the amplifier at, let's say, 2 ohm stereo or 4 ohm mono, you know, you could get 300 or 400 watts out of it, I'm assuming. And that might be enough to power, like, let's say 110 or 112, which could be enough. Because, I mean, most 5-channel amplifiers that are of normal size only have 300 to 500 watts. So,
yeah. All right. Those all audio control amplifiers have the ability to take more volts from the settings on the inside of the epicenter.
It does. However, I can tell you right now, I have never used it. And the only time I've had somebody used it, they called me, they had an issue, they took it back apart, and they put it back the way it was supposed to be from the factory, and everything works spectacularly. So, leave it alone. I mean, unless you're doing something that has a tremendous, like, unless you're doing something like that you metered the output voltage and you saw 20 volts coming out of it, just leave it alone. There again, it's most people don't ever have to screw with that.
All right, on the 2021 RAV4, Crushfield says only Pioneer and Alpine flooring screens will fit. Is that correct?
Well, what?
In the 2021 RAV4.
2020, I don't know. I haven't worked on the 2021 RAV4, but they might be correct there. Well, okay, so
this is the first one.
I mean, it would make sense if it's a single DIN back. It would have to be a single DIN back because the Pioneer and the Alpine both have single DIN backs, whereas like the Kenwood is a double DIN back. You could probably also do a high 10, depending on what you need for an interface, though, because both Pioneer and Alpine will do RRs.
And the high 10 can go up and down or whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, they might not make an interface for a high 10. I mean, if the pack interface will work, then great.
Yeah.
You know, then you could probably do a high 10 as well. DSR1, $300. It might be now, yeah, because there has been some price increases. I'm starting to set up my first SQ system, looking for an entry-level budget DSP for $300 range. And that's what Mike was answering your question, Eduardo. The DSR1 for $300 is probably going to be your best bet. Car audio equals budget goes out the window 99% of the time. Yeah, I would agree with that. But, words to live by, guys. Patience and time will get you anything you want in life.
We don't have that.
Nobody has either one of them, but patience and time will get you anything you want in life.
What's up, Luis?
Shooting for a rainbow.
Hey, Oscar.
Hey, you know what time it is?
Yes.
It's Fundamentals of Car Audio time, brought to you by D&F Tool Drawer. That's right, the really cool place you can go to find tools. Yes. Oh, let's head over to the laptop, shall we? Summing. Today we're going to talk to you about what?
Summing.
Good call.
I read it.
Summing is the blending of multiple signals to create one complete signal. Now, we're just going to generalize what summing is. We're not going to talk about all the headaches that can get involved in summing. We're just going to help you understand what summing is because it's a word that we throw out quite frequently. And I know a lot of you guys are out there and you're like, Skittles. They both start with S. To understand summing, you first must understand what each speaker does. Tweeters produce high frequencies from instruments such as voice, piano, electric guitars, and cymbals. Frequency range between 3,000 and 22,000 and higher hertz. Mid-range, or middlers now, produce the middle frequencies from instruments such as snare drums, organs, electric guitars, and a tenor sax. Frequency range is around 300 hertz to 22,000 hertz. Keep in mind this is generalization. Obviously plus or minus would be involved here. Mid-range / mid-bass produce the lower mid and mid-bass frequencies from instruments such as kick drums, pianos, bass guitars, tenor, voice. Frequency range could be anywhere between 50 hertz to 3,000 hertz, or higher. Stillwater at stillwater.com produces this wonderful chart that you can go to stillwater.com and not the subwoofer company. Stillwater, they sell instruments.
No?
Sweetwater, sorry.
Sweetwater.
You know what my brain was. Sweetwater produces this chart here that you can download, and what this is designed to do is across the bottom you can see the frequency and then the instrument and where they fall within that frequency. This is a really nice chart to have access to. We have one copy of it on the wall over here because when you're tuning your car and you're like, I just can't seem to get this instrument to sound good. Thanks, Lori.
Lori's like, what are you talking about, dude?
Anyways, when you're trying to figure out what frequency is missing or why it doesn't sound good, to refer to this chart and figure out where it falls into your graph as far as like if you're looking at an RTA of sound playing in your car, if there's a hole there and that's where that particular instrument is designed to be played, then you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to need to do to fix it. But moving back to summing, you will need some form of summing device. There are 3 basic types. Multi-channel high to low level adapters, such as an LC7i, a WaveTech, Kicker makes one. A lot of companies make these. Some form of DSP or EQ with multiple channels of input. So for example, you want, which we'll get to in a minute, you'll understand. As well as some specialty amplifiers have summing built into them as well. Usually those amplifiers are going to have DSPs built into them, but not all of them do. In the sense of audio control, always has 2 channels of summing capability on their front channels. You have high in and then you have front in. Make sure you have enough channels to do all your summing, and that's where I was getting at. Count your speakers to get the basic idea of how many channels you have. Best is to test all your channels to get the most accurate count. What that basically means is that if you sit in a car and there's a set of tweeters, there's a set of mid-range, there's rear and there's sub, that could be 7 channels. It could also just be 5 channels, depending on if the front tweeter and front mid are connected to the same wiring. If you have a car that has a factory amplifier in it, the likelihood of them being their own channel is greatly increased as opposed to if your car just has a basic radio in it. For example, today we did a Honda Accord base model where the 6.5 and the tweeter run parallel with one another. However, if the car would have been a premium sound system, it would have looked the same. However, each driver would have had their own channel on the amplifier. We would have needed more channels to do summing in that car than we would have not. This is what summing is going to look like with a device like the LC7i. You're going to bring your main tweeter into your main input. You'll bring your mid-range in. You'll bring your mid-bass or subwoofer in, depending on what type of system and how big it is. You're going to use the level control to do your mixing, because depending on how the factory's volume is playing those particular drivers, you may need to go in there and blend them together. Turn one up, turn one down, that kind of thing. And you can do that with the level controls. And then it's going to output to 2-channel audio and give you the highest frequency response that is playing and the lowest frequency response of the combined total. It can't give you anything extra, but it will give you the total of the two. In this case, we had 22,000 hertz. The tweeter is playing all the way up to on the high side, and the mid-bass was playing down to 60 hertz. That will give us a combined total that we can then go into our amplifier of 22,000 hertz down to 60 hertz. I tried to color code it to make it look, you know, how this is happening. And that's about it. And that, my guys, is summing. Yes, those were cool Morel speakers.
Oh.
I know. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in to that. At 40 minutes to talk about something cool. 2013 Mustang, bass audio. Where can I find a T-harness to add a 4-channel amp? I think Metro still makes that and it's still available, so head over to metroonline.com. How do you guys feel about the Metro Access DSP for GM truck? Depending on the year GM truck, I don't like to use their DSP so much as a DSP. It's a great beginner DSP. However, we always just use it as a preamp into a better DSP. One of the nice things about that DSP, as well as also an Amp Pro and or a DSR1, if it's compatible with the years you're working with. DSR1 makes the DGM3 harness. Both the DGM3 and the Access High Level will allow you to control the door chime. If it's compatible with the Amp Pro GM61, then you can just get the most bus preamp section out of it, and you don't have to deal with anything. You can go in you don't have to deal with their EQ or anything like that. You can literally just RC out of the radio perfectly flat into your amplifier and call it a day. My brain is summed numb. Okay, so can the kicker key 204 be bridged to run front components, allowing stock rear to run off aftermarket head unit? It cannot be bridged, however it can be put in a bi-amp mode where you can use channel 1 and 2 to power the high frequency drivers, either a set of tweeters or middlers or mid-range, and then 3 and 4 can be used to drive the mid-bass in the bottom of the door. At that case, yes, you can use the radio that is in the dash to power the rear speakers. Just know when you go to set it up, you have to fade it to the front. No other speakers other than what is coming out of the key or what the key is connected to can play. If you want to see that done, we do have a video in the install lab where we just did that in Haley's car a couple months back. You can see how it's done.
Alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good?
Do I run 4 or 6 RCA cables to the LC6 1200 from the DM810, which I'm using 2 ways front components and 4 6.5 coaxials in the rear?
Okay. Real quick, Thomas, no bows. It's fine. You can still use any one of the snares. You can still use an Amp Pro GM61 because the Amp Pro GM61 taps into the most bus on the truck. Just go to our playlist and type in Amp Pro GM61. We have both bows and non-bows. You can see how it works. Kicker key crossover at 320 hertz. If it is on the mid-range, it auto senses, so it will know if it's hooked up to a tweeter or mid-range. What was the question
again? Do I run 4 to 6 RCA's cables to the LC6100? Okay.
When you're coming out of a DSP into the amplifier, you have to kind of decide how many inputs and outputs you're doing. So, for example, if you're going to use the LC600 as a 4-channel, then you'd need obviously outputs for the tweeters would be 1 and 2, would go into that. And then you need outputs for 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. You're going to need some Y connectors because you're going to come out of the DSP mid-range left, and you need to Y them both into the connectors on, you know, the 2 channels you're going to be bridging, and then you need to do the same for the other 2 channels that you're bridging. You need to populate all 4 channels, but you're only going to be running over in 2 RCAs out of the DSP. Now, if you're going to go full active, meaning you're going to use each channel individually, then you would run a corresponding RCA into the amplifier to match those. The reason why you have to use the Y connectors as opposed to just plugging in 2 is that it wants to see all that signal, and you will reduce the amount of output if you do not, even though it is just 1. And also, you don't want to plug it into, let's say, just 3 and 4, and you need left and right fader control.
Alright, I have 2 sets of T2 components, rear and front, and coaxials in the rear doors and the sub in a 2015 Nissan Altima. The DSR1 will work?
If you have, yeah, I mean, it's 7 channels. So when you say will it work, it depends on how you're going to run your 7 channels. If it's active in any way, shape, or form, no. But if you just have front tweeter mid on 1 channel, rear separate on the other channel, and very rear coaxial on another channel, and sub, yes, it'll do 8 channels. So you just need to pick any one of the outputs that are set up for 8-channel output, pick that, and then customize your crossovers accordingly. So you would basically do 3 high-pass crossovers and 1 low-pass crossover. So yeah, it would work.
Alright, I'm using AudioFrog GS Y-band 2.5 speakers and a tweeter. Do I let the 2.5 write out the whole width of the frequency, or do you cut the frequency right when the tweeter kicks in around 3K? Not sure if it will cancel out the tweeters if you let it roll at 20K, as they can play up to.
This falls into that weird category of how do I do something without screwing it up? And there's a right and wrong answer for this, but the reality is there is no wrong or right answer. It's going to depend on what you're trying to do. If you want to do a true 3-way set, then yes, you would put a bandpass onto the mid-range and you would cut it off. Not necessarily what you have to do, though, depending on how you want it to ride. The other thing too is you may want to let that mid-range play up and let the cross the tweeter up higher. So if that mid-range is good all the way up to, let's say, 10,000 hertz, you may want to have the tweeter play from 10,000 and up, just to fill in that super high frequency that mid-range is not capable of doing. There's nothing wrong with that either. You don't have to use, like, it's not set in stone that, oh, the tweeter is going to play down to 3,200 hertz, and that's that. However, I will tell you this. It's AudioFrog. AudioFrog has a wonderful owner by the name of
Andy
Waymeyer. Andy Waymeyer is one of the smartest guys we both know. And if you're really puzzled on this and have a question, by all means, shoot him a DM. Ask on the AudioFrog forum what he thinks. He will give you an honest answer, and he will explain it to the point of, like, you're going to do this, or, yeah. So don't be afraid to ask him. The last thing he wants to have happen is his speakers not sound good. So you've bought a great product from a great guy. Don't be afraid to ask him for help. He's there to help you. So, no, cut the frequency for the tweeter. Don't let both play. So Jeff is telling you to do a typical 3-way set bandpass. Now it's just a matter of where you're going to cut that frequency. It's up to you. But there again, don't listen to Jeff. He's an Iaska goofball. He wants that, he don't know nothing. Screw that guy.
Besides a laptop and the USB cables, do I require any other special gear to turn and audio control the 61200?
I mean, do you have an RTA of some kind? I mean, really, at the end of the day, it just has an input RTA. It doesn't have an output RTA. Mm-hmm. So you do need, to do any DSP, you need some form of an audio DSP. Audio RTA. It does not have one built in. So that's why they sell the DMRTA. They sell the iTest mic. There's a ton of microphones that you can buy just to plug into a laptop. You can use the REW software. But yes, you'll need some form of a way to look at the signal coming out audibly and not just the signal that is coming electrically, because there is going to be some loss in translation there depending on where the speaker is mounted, how far it is away from you, what kind of material is in the car, is it coming off the glass. There's a lot of things that have to be taken into consideration.
All right, if you were you, would you buy and install new Illusion, the 3CX, the Illusion that you like?
Yeah, the one I have.
In the factory date, or reuse the Infinity Kappa perfect separates in the new custom dashpad?
I mean, nothing against Infinities. They're a great speaker, there's no question about it. But I kind of feel like when it comes to 3.5s, that Illusion is kind of like the benchmark. Would you agree?
I mean,
it's kind of like...
I never heard about the...
I mean, the Infinities are good. It's an Infinity. I mean, that's what this has in it. This has Infinity Perfects. They sound okay. They're not bad. Yeah. But if you're not going to have the power for it...
Yeah, I mean, totally. The Illusions sound really nice, yeah.
But you're going to need power, and you can buy amp them. It comes with a giant passive crossover. It's a pretty nice speaker.
Buy amp.
And they do like melt your ears and sound wonderful. Dean, after installing the Morel 6.3 hybrids and Morel Ultimo 10-inch sub active DMA10, I can say is wow. Well, that's awesome.
I'm happy, man. I'm happy that works.
Yeah, nice. Everyone needs to be happy. Kicker 2.5-inch speakers have a sensitivity of 85 dB. Should I look into something with higher sensitivity going active front stage off Kicker key? I'm going to go with no. I don't think you're going to have a problem with those. Keep in mind that it's a mid-range and it's going to be playing in that sweet spot frequency range where your ears are like super like ready to go. So it's not like a tweeter, because remember, your hearing is also the flying V. And that mid-range is going to play right where your ear is the most sensitive. You don't want it to be the only speaker you hear in the car. So you will be fine.
Alright. It's a power capacitor saving my alternator? Should I just remove it?
Is it saving your alternator?
I don't think it's saving your alternator.
I don't think it's saving your alternator from anything. No. I just think it's, a neat little voltmeter to have in the car.
Yeah,
if it's not hurting anything, leave it alone. It's not. It's there. I mean, if it's got a voltmeter on it, definitely keep it, because then you can see what the heck is going on with your car.
Oh wow! Look at that. Thanks for leading me to Morels. I have the Tempo Ultra 602s and can wire tune my DSP. Ooh. Thank you. All amazing input for you. Oh, awesome, man.
You got Ken Ward to sign to do it. Now, we do a lot of DSP talk, and if you guys caught that with Jeff this week, it was pretty nice. If you haven't, definitely. Now, if you want to get more DSP training, which I know everybody does, Ken Ward, the gentleman that just tuned his car, has educar.teachable.com. He's got 3 classes. They're $20 a piece. Pick one. They're about an hour long, and you will definitely be smarter when you're done watching them. They're worth the $20. I mean, just don't go to McDonald's for a week, and you can, tune your DSP. It's pretty cool. Hello. So I already own the Kappa Perfect 3-inch and tweeter with the Helix V8. To reuse in my car will take a custom pot, or could I drop the Illusion in the factory spot? You're probably not going to be able to drop the Illusion in the factory spot. It's the same 3.5. So if it's the same size as your perfect. I would. Yeah. Do we know where they're at? Do you know where you hit them? No,
me?
Yeah, you put them. You're the one who put everything away. They're back there.
It's around there. I have no
idea where.
And right now I didn't bring my high heels. I can't.
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Yeah, sorry. What you may want to look into is a 2.5. Yeah. Something along those lines. If you don't want to go crazy and build pods and whatnot, look into, let's say, a 2.5. That will. You're not going to get it. It's going to be high frequency mid range, but that might do what you're trying to do. Or if you just want to get blasted out of the car, go with some SPL shows.
Yeah.
All
right.
What would be a good capacitor for the Tempo Ultra tweeters? I mean, probably.
It's not coming with the.
I mean, they should come with them, but probably a 4.7 or a 3.3. I mean, 3.3. You won't have any issues. So.
Yes, you can watch more than once.
What's that?
The class.
Yeah, you own it. It's teachable. You own the class.
That's it. You can do whatever you want.
Fernando, all the speakers you have been using in your car, what has been your most impressive with? You don't have to answer that. But I mean, you had the Phoenix Gold in there forever.
I had the Phoenix Gold, and actually, I really tuned those. That was good.
Because those were in there for like 2 years, 3 years. So those are nice and broken.
And then we put the Morels.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to take those out to do the ground zeros. And then we're going to put them back in. So
we put them back in.
We're going to put them back in. So everyone don't get freaked out and be like, I'll take it.
I guess it's just the time to tune it, let it break in, listen to it. Amazing speakers. Every speaker had different
sound signature.
Yes. So.
Yeah, we just been so busy we haven't had a chance to play with those.
Man, no. But I have plenty power. I know everything.
Yeah, you do.
I got plenty power to do that. Yes, so.
Yeah. 2010 GMC Sierra, standard cab, recommended for sub enclosures. It's a 2010. I think that's a pretty normal box at this point. I mean, obviously, it just depends on how much you want to spend. I mean, you could go to MTI Acoustics, and they probably make one for that's going to be, like, pretty sexy and nice and whatnot. However, there's other companies out there that make those boxes.
Beautiful boxes, man.
It's entirely up to you. But that box is pretty well.
Yeah.
If you're, you could probably, if you don't want to go crazy, just find one that's rhino lined. We find that the more reasonably priced boxes that are rhino lined tend to hold up rather well.
And Daniel is right. You know what? We just installed the Maximus.
Oh, the Maximus, the ones we tell everyone
Maximus, and it's like, dude, man.
Those are beautiful.
They sound really nice. I was like,
yes, I loved them before, but I love them more now.
Yeah.
So that's our new. That's
gonna be
a new hotness for sure. Woo. All right, that takes us to 40 minutes. We got something cool to show you guys. For those of you guys didn't know, we got a cool toy in the other day, and let's just go to it right there. Look at that. Oh my gosh, is that an amplifier dyno? I think it is. I think that could be an amplifier dyno. Hold on, let me go here and let me turn that off. Yeah, so we many moons ago, many moons ago, we ordered an amplifier dyno back in October. Oh, you gotta put the battery in. Yeah, I don't even know where the battery is. Don't even worry about it. We can see it right there. So we ordered one of these in, not to do what we want to do our
different
normal
purpose.
The Maximus come in a 3-way. No, the Maximos come in a 3-way. The Maximus is just a 6 and a tweet. So
Maximus is just
6 and tweet.
Just 2.
Yeah. It just comes like
Maximo
that. If
Ultra.
you put an O there.
Maximo Ultra, it come in a 3-way set.
Yeah.
The difference is like you can hear Ultra and not Ultra.
Okay, so we totally screwed that up.
Yeah.
All right, so last year around September.
That was September.
Last year around September, we put in our order for an amp dyno so that we could test not a bunch of our stuff. So basically the amplifiers that we talk about, we wanted to be able to play with those. It takes about 7 months to get one of these things in. And then once you get it, they of course put your name on it. So Smash Force Productions was the name we had them put on there. And we're really looking forward to having a bunch of fun with it and just doing some really cool stuff. If you did catch our amplifier dyno that we did with Kicker, because they also have one, we went in a different direction. I don't necessarily care how much power the amplifier is going to do. Like, we can all assume it's going to put out a gazillion watts of power. I don't care. I want to see how this amplifier is going to perform under normal circumstances. Like, if I have 11 volts going to it, or if I have, you know, that kind of thing where we can really just beat the thing up and have some fun. So, in the next couple months, we'll be getting this together and playing with it. We have some home audio amps that we have to test for somebody else first. We're not going to film those because we know you guys don't really care about the home audio stuff all that much.
Just home.
But yeah, it ought to be cool. This will just be one more thing that we can add into the repertoire of testing and talking and showing you guys cool stuff.
Yeah. Just got my Supremo SW9 and the Supremo Piccolos. Dude, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous for you because that's...
I hope
awesome.
When we go to California, I'm able to listen to that because it's like...
We're going to California?
Yeah, at some point we're gonna go to Cali.
We're going back to Cali?
We're going back to Cali.
That'd be 2022.
I hope I can hear that, man. I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
Have you done an IB setup before? I haven't done an IB setup in probably 20 years, maybe 25 years. Just not really anything that, you know.
Nothing crazy?
No, just hasn't been on the list of things to do. Which, you know, you'll be the first to listen, Fernando. Why, are you gonna have it done by 2022?
Dude, he already pulled the amps out, and he is just crazy. He's crazy.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I would do that too. Home audio channel is next for you guys. Dean and Fernando changing out TVs. No, I will not do a home. I can't afford a home audio channel. I can tell you that right now. You know, I'm happy with my audio control home receiver that they took care of us with.
That would be nice, so we can make some holes in the wall.
I don't want to make any holes in the wall.
I'm an expert making holes in the wall.
No. But no, we're not going to be doing any of that. I will say one of the coolest things they had at Audio Control was the invisible speakers, where the speakers actually go into the wall. You don't even see that they're there. Those were cool.
Yeah.
That was really nice. They don't get super duper loud, but they're loud enough for like a rear fill or something like that.
Why not get super loud?
Because there's a wall in front of them.
Make it.
Just let it go, man. There's a piece of paper in front of them. What makes a good section... What makes a good selection to the show? Just saying, Dyno Hour with Dean and Fernando. Oh, it would make a good. I don't think we need to do an hour on it, but you know, we'll have fun. We'll have fun. I mean, you know, hey, at the end of the day, anything that we can do to make it more interesting and not Dean run Animos at home, it's the aha moment. I still haven't had time to play with the audio control yet, and it's got a ton of crap in there, so it's
set it up so we can go and listen to music.
I'm not gonna listen to music. Dude, it's all about movies, man. I'm a movie guy.
Man.
Oh, and speaking of movies, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to pay to watch Nobody, watch Nobody. It's worth $20. It really is. The girls love that.
We're watching Nobody.
Hey, you have fun too, Fro. We'll see you next time. All right, guys. We still got 10 minutes here, so get those questions in. Let's try to get through some more of these questions and, you know, have a good time, as it were.
Let somebody say, if they make a downfire or a box for a Nissan.
Oh, the 2.8 box? Yeah.
Yes.
I have no idea.
Man, no.
I just hit the internet and start searching.
Yeah.
You know, that's just kind of one of those things that you have to do. It's really ridiculous.
You ever use an RTA on an output of the audio control signal summing to check your levels?
Yes, all the time. We actually, if you want to see that in action, we did probably 5 years ago. We did a whole series of videos on LC7Is, and we showed you summing. They're kind of corny videos because we did them like 5 years ago, but if you want to see how summing actually works, just go to the channel and search LC7i, and I believe there's 2 or 3 videos where we took like a tweeter, a mid, and a mid bass and worked them through the LC7i to do the actual output. At some point, we wanted to do an updated version of that with like the LCQ1. We never got around to it. Not saying we won't do it, because it's on the list of videos to do.
At some point.
But showing that working is really kind of cool to see for sure.
Yeah.
But that's, there again, why everyone needs an RTA, I guess. Bit meters electrical. Hi guys, what's a good 3.5-inch coaxial to use as a mid-tweet, say 320 hertz and up? Not the Illusion, $800. Believe it or not, the Kickers, not Kicker, Kenwood, they both start with K, it totally screws me up. Kenwood makes the C3, which is a phenomenal, reasonably priced 3.5 that gets the job done and will fit in pretty much all the cars that we have now. It's kind of our go-to 3.5 as far as that goes. Very reasonably priced. You know, other than that, it just kind of like no one makes that. It's like you have the Illusion and you have everything under $100 or everything right at $100. There's kind of that no gray area there that's going to have like a coaxial. Component wise, you know, you might be able to get into a set of speakers, but you know, you'd have to buy like, let's say, a Focal Flax or a the K2s. You could get into the Morels. You know, they all sell a mid-range, but not a coaxial that you can do. But component-wise, and there again, you're gonna have to buy them all off-the-shelf style things. But
bye, Lori. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the Illusion 3 actually a 2.9?
I honestly don't know. We have one, and it's buried in the shelf back here, and that's why we have it. But I'll dig it out, and we'll ask that question on Saturday, and we'll have it out on Saturday, and we'll all take a look at the Illusion 3.
How do you feel about bridging 4-channel amplifier to run components, audio control 4.300 versus a bigger 2-channel amp? Any downsides?
Downside, I mean, the downside is, yes. The downside is you're really taxing that amplifier because you've been running it at its lowest impedance capability. Especially those small D amplifiers like that. Will they do it? Yes. Are they going to be something like you're going to be, oh my gosh? Probably not. But if there is a downside, it's that you're asking that amplifier to run 4 ohm, which, yes, it's capable of doing, but it is its lowest ohm load. And if you're trying to get like the best signal possible, you may want to buy a bigger amplifier. So that's why they have the ACMs, and then of course the bigger LC. So like the LC 4800 is basically double the power of the ACM, so that you can get that bigger sound out of it. We've done it. Nothing wrong with doing it, but if you're looking for a downside, that would be it. Is it something you'll hear? It might not be. Also, I want to mention before the show is over here is that tomorrow is part 2 of Kicker's tour.
Okay.
And it's going to be a trifecta of fun and excitement because both me, Hi-Fi Vega, and Big D Wiz are all going to be on the show with Kip, talking about our experiences that we had with them, because they got to go, and the 2 of those guys got to go and they hung out with Kip, and of course I went and I got to film a documentary. They basically, Lori set it up for me and gave me carte blanche to, like, I just wrote down, I said, hey, I want to do all this stuff, and the powers that be at Kicker were like, we love it, let's do it. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night on the Kicker channel, where we'll be watching and talking to and having a good time there.
Yeah. Thanks, Thomas.
So, yes, if you guys don't watch Unmasked, watch it tomorrow night, because we'll all be on there having a wonderful time. I have no idea what time.
Oh, come on.
I have no idea. I think it's 7:30 Central.
7:30.
It's either 7:30 Central or 8:30 Central.
So just pay attention of the Kicker YouTube and
I'm pretty
Facebook.
sure all you guys know when it's on, because I see a lot of you guys over there, like, when I'm watching. But
you see them?
I see their names. I remember their names. I do. So, but no, tomorrow night's going to be a big show. And then I think 7:30. Thank you, 7:30 Central.
There
so
you
that's
go.
8:30 our time.
See, they know.
Me and the Double D gonna be on En Masse, so it's gonna be all of us. It's gonna be pretty exciting. It's gonna be a lot of people talking, so we're just gonna we're all just gonna talk over Kip.
Okay.
And then I think Big D and Hi-Fi are gonna have Soundman on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Hi-Fi and me are gonna have Mark from Cardio Fab on the Thursday show.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, this is gonna be a heck of a week. There's no doubt about it. Lots of cool stuff going on. I'll give you one more.
Yes, all right. Installing some sound treatment and the Alpine Type R's. And my truck next phase is gonna do an audio control LC 5.300.
Oh, and 2 P2s.
Ooh,
Perfect.
Like it. I
yeah,
like
that'd
it.
be
That's
nice.
Gonna be go to the next one. So the 4.800 go into components and use rear channels to a sub.
Yeah, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can totally do that. Yeah, so if you're just wanting to get a lot of power to a set of coaxials, using it as a 3-channel amplifier, we've done it in the past. It works wonderfully. If you get the D version of that, obviously you'll get the DSP, which will just take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But the LC will work just as fine. Lots of excellent,
Yeah, just that. Lots to watch. Excellent.
What he said.
Exactly.
It's going to be a cool week. There's
gonna
no
be a
doubt.
lot.
Oh, okay,
And
so
then-
Doug is next Wednesday. All right, so Doug is next Wednesday. So
Dog is next.
all right, so we get. All right, who cares? We get Mark on Thursday, so
There you
that'll
go.
be fun.
So just
Don't expect us to talk too much about car stereo. I can tell you that right now.
maybe about.
I mean, we get Mark on. Let's talk about Mark. I mean, hey, let's talk about movies. What's his favorite?
Yeah, why not?
What's not Mark and Soundman at the same time? Bummer. Oh God, no! I would never. Jesus, that would be. Whew. Yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea.
Uh-huh.
To
Why
have
not?
Mark and Soundman. I don't know, man. I don't want to get involved in
Dog
that.
is dog.
I don't want to get involved in that. That's not my thing.
All right, guys.
Does that take us to the time?
That takes us to
Takes us to
the
the
time.
time.
Man.
All right, guys, that's been the show. Hey, you know what? For those of you that are tuning in now, make sure to
Subscribe.
keep this. Well, I mean, if you can find it, there is a link to it. Hi-Fi put up. This is going to be the new channel. It's called Side Jag. It's going to be Hi-Fi Vega, myself, and whoever else cares to join us. We're going to talk about guys' perspective on movies and life. It's going to happen. The first episode is going to be the 29th. It's going to be late. There's the link right there that Hi-Fi has put up to. So make sure you go subscribe so that you can check it out. Of course, we'll be talking about it more on Reverse Polarity Thursday night. We're going to mention it there. I think he's also going to talk about it tonight on the show that him and DIY Audio and Troy, the guy that starts with the T. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Anyways, my bad. I'm sorry. The home audio portion of that show. They'll be talking about it tonight, I'm sure. But anyways, for those of you that are wanting to do cool installs, D&F Tool Drawer is a place you can go to find all the cool tools that you use. That's right, you can basically find anything you want there. We have it all there for you. It's all laid out nice and neat. If you want to get a cool shirt, you can find that at Teespring.store or Teespring/store/5stars is a place you can go to find all those. A bunch of them are on there. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, this is the new page. They've just changed it to spring, but, hey, whatever.
Same thing.
And we're also on Patreon. If you want to support us over there, that's just Troid's DIY. Thank you. So tonight they have their show that goes on after us. And I know a bunch of you guys.
Toys.
Troids.
Yeah,
DIY.
just that.
You guys can read it. It's there. Anyways, I apologize to Troids. Have fun tonight. Go watch their show.
See you guys tomorrow.
You guys have a wonderful day. Yep, 5 minutes of 5-star. You can find us on Instagram. I'm tired. You guys have great fun. We'll see you later. Bye.